feel like Randy Savage versus Steve Williams sounds like a fun match. So I'm going to put that on and then tell the internet we're here. Hey, what's going on, Zoe? Just making my Facebook and Twitter posts, letting the internet know that wrestling is happening tonight. Cool. Oh, man. Yeah, it's good that we're doing KOF again. Like, really happy that that's been going on past few weeks. Big sit-out lariat from Savage. Yeah, definitely not, like, in our friend group specifically. We never really had a game like KOF 13 where we were all that passionate about it at the same time. So, it's good to see the games back. I just realized I never downloaded a Jason Voorhees for Blake to use in the Battle Royal, which is unfortunate. After we spent all that time yesterday talking about what that would look like in a wrestling capacity, well, we're certainly not going to find out this week. Here's the thing, is I am notoriously unreliable.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Harada starts counting Stephen Williams, just waiting on the outside, taking a moment to catch his breath. That time spent on the outside working to his advantage as he was able to lock on that hold. Shoots Savage into the ropes, but Savage powers through. Big knee, goes for the cover. 1, 2. Count 2. combo from Steven Williams. Just repeated shots to the head. Drops Savage to the mat. Savage responding back. Big back body drop. And once again going to those mounted punches that he's used to great effect over the course of this match. Time connects with a back elbow, goes for the cover. 1, 2. Only gets 2. Savage looks like he's trying to wear Williams out a little bit. Williams down center of the ring. Savage now thinking better of that. 2. Almost enough, but Steve Williams just doesn't have anything left in the tank. Gets hit with that atomic drop. Yeah. Like, I saw these guys pop up on the randomization on opposite sides, and like, yeah, this would be an incredible match. Especially with both of them kind of in their prime at that point. Yeah. Savage hanging Williams up on the top rope. Williams once again shooting Savage in that corner turnbuckle. Randy Savage in that tree of woe. Big kick to the gut, but Williams just having trouble keeping his wind here. That could be the difference maker in this match. Big gorilla press. But Williams just unable to capitalize. Finally starting to regain that vertical base, but Savage immediately peppers him with that heavy left hand. And devastating lariat. And Williams responding back. Big shoulder block. And for a brief moment, forgot about the Brawl for All. Because, like, yeah, I remember how that event ended. That is such a bizarre idea for a wrestling event, is take pro wrestlers and have them fight in real life. So actually, on the subject of the Brawl for All, the New Legacy guys have been teasing that they're going to be doing another Brawl for All Fire Pro event, which, if you're not familiar with New Legacy Inc., they're kind of the guys that gave me the idea to do this stream. They stream basically every wrestling game. Oh, Savage going up top, big diving elbow, buries it in the stomach of Steve Williams, and gets a 3-count fall out of the deal. But, yeah, they stream wrestling games of any era. They had an ongoing Fire Promoter stream and another, like, Brawl for All themed stream they used to do, and it looks like they're gearing up for another event for that. They're also the guys that do the Royal Rumble Marathon. Hey, how you doing, GK? Where they will run a Royal Rumble in every wrestling video game that has a Royal Rumble-like match type. And then they will put the winners of all of those matches in the latest WWE 2K and have a Royaliest Rumble. It's a very fun stream to watch. Hey, it's all good. Well, you came in just in time as we're getting ready to start the show proper. Yeah, like I said, like, if it weren't for New Legacy, I probably wouldn't be doing this, because, like, they were kind of the people that gave me the idea to do a wrestling show on Twitch. I think they're gearing up to do their new season of WWE 2K Universe Mode pretty soon as well. But I'm not getting paid to tell you guys to watch New Legacy stuff. So let's go ahead and get underway in the latest edition of Blake's House Professional Wrestling. I'm sure if you were tuned in last week, we had the beginning of the tournament to determine the #1 contender of the Judgment Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. The JPW wrestlers certainly had a rough week last week, but there are some all-stars on the second half of the bracket that are certainly going to be putting on spectacular matches this week. Additionally, of course, we have the staples of Blake's House Wrestling, and that, of course, being the Mag.Lo Open Challenge, your main event for tonight, as well as the KOF TV title match, and several other matchups that you guys have to look forward to. But one such match, let's go ahead and update you guys on David's investigation into the identity of the boss of Nick's wrestling organization. He's been trying week in, week out, wrestling all comers, trying to determine a lead that could give him some direction as to who the boss of the Nick's wrestling organization really is. And he is going on excursion this week. So let's go ahead and get backstage and figure out exactly what he is going to be doing this week. Let's see, a little slow on getting to the segment.
I just wanted to get an update on where you're at with your investigation. Alright, well I guess the good news is there's only a few more names left on your list. One of these guys has to be the head of Nick's wrestling organization. I got a good feeling about your opponent this week. I hear this guy's sick. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, good luck in your match tonight, and good luck trying to track this guy down. Like, this has been a huge pain in our ass for the last 10 weeks at least. Alright, I'll talk to you after your match.
And you may have gotten a hint based on that phone conversation, but David Clement going up one-on-one with sick Nick Mondo, a deathmatch specialist, and they are going to be duking it out in a barbed wire deathmatch. Big chop across the chest, followed by an open palm strike to the side of the head. David goes for that early cover, as unable to connect, not even a 1 count. Nick Mondo, big drop toe hold. David responding back, enziguri throwback to the side of the head as he locks on an armbar, trying to disable Nick Mondo. Ducks that hard shot. Both men trying to shoot each other into these electrified barbed wire. Neither man willing to play ball here. Got to figure the first person able to shoot their opponent into that barbed wire is going to gain such a tremendous advantage. That was nearly it for David. But David, presence of mind so great in this matchup here. He does not want to be thrown into that electrified barbed wire and is able to protect himself. David and Nick Mondo slugging it out, but Mondo getting the better of that exchange and dropkick square in the face, but David beating Mondo to the punch. And David is in total control, once again locking on that cross arm breaker. Trying to take some power, big Mongolian chops. And now he's just locking on that chinlock, trying to slow Nick Mondo down, not allowing him to even really get started in this contest. Big elbow to face, David responding back, chop across the head. Ooh, big body slamming, standing moonsault into an elbow. And once again, the two just slugging it out here. Ooh. Beautiful Rana from sick Nick Mondo. And this matchup has gone more or less the same time to time. It's still those educated feet of David and those forearm smashes of Nick Mondo. The two are just willing to stand and fight it out. And I'm not totally clear on who that favors more. Ooh, David gets that double leg and once again goes for that cross arm breaker. Maybe he's got something here as he continues to attempt to work the arm of sick Nick Mondo. Big vertical suplex. But Mondo still refusing to be thrown into those electrified barbed wire that's strung up around the ring. Big chop to the chest. Ooh. David, package pile driver, but he's unable to get to his feet and capitalize. So he's unable to make the cover. Ooh, big arm drag. Mondo just trying to protect himself at this point, as this match has been all David all the way. Powerbomb stacks him up. 1, 2. That was nearly it. Big suplex from Nick Mondo. And finally, the first man shot into that barbed wire. It will be David, and that could be the momentum shift that Mondo needs. But David cutting him off before he's able to advance any further. Oh my God, just devastating bomb and nearly a 3-count fall right there. Ooh, surprise roll up. 1, 2. Only 2. I think Nick Mondo's found his second wind after he shot David into that barbed wire for a second time. Make that 3. Is 3 times enough to put David Clement away? Who sidesteps the lariat, but Mondo sidestepping that enziguri. Oh my God. Goes for that cover. That could be it right there. But no, only 2. And now it is David on his second win, but Nick Mondo trying to cut it off by shooting him into that barbed wire once again. Big lariat clubbing blow to the chest and neck of David and shooting him into the barbed wire again. Mondo just trying to punish David for those sequences early on in the match where he was unable to get started. And now it is David on the ropes. But David now, another package pile driver, dropping Nick Mondo right on his neck. Stacks him up. 1, 2, 3-count fall as David bests sick Nick Mondo in a barbed wire death match. And hopefully this contest will bring him closer to determining exactly who is in charge of Nick's wrestling organization. All right, that is one heck of a start to our show tonight, as David and Nick Mondo put on an absolute brawl in the opener. Let's try and keep that energy going, as we have got several more matches for you guys tonight. So let's start out with some Inter Blake's House competition. Of course, you saw that Eric Alpizar, no longer the Shoot Division champion, free to pursue other endeavors, and Eric will do so with his wife, going up against Slam Channel 5, the team of Shenjo and James Holloway. So let us go ahead and get into that match right now. The Alpizar's actually very recently doing a charity event for Extra Life. But now coming into that Blake's House wrestling ring as they have walked that aisle week in and week out. But they're going to be going up against a former Blake's House champion in Shenjo. And that is not to discredit Holloway, as he is an extremely effective competitor in the singles as well as in the tag. These two have teamed together more recently and more frequently than the Alpizars have. So you may even consider that the team of Slam Channel 5 has the slight edge in this matchup. But we will have to see. Shenjo starting off strong with that hip throw. And Alpizar footing those strikes that got him so far in the Shoot Division tournament to good use at the start of this contest. Big European uppercut. And it looks like he's just trying to control the location of where this fight's going to take place around the ring. He locks on that arm and neck hold, trying to shut Shenjo down. Shenjo once again, that another hip throw. But Alpizar responding back with a throw of his own. Big low roundhouse, trying to take Shenjo's legs out from under his legs, and Shenjo responding back, going to that patented hip throw. You go with what works against a fighter as seasoned as Eric Alpizar. And he seems to have found a piece of offense that is very effective. It looks like he's going to make it back to his own corner. Alpizar unable to cut him off, so Alpizar tagging Linda into this contest. High and low, Shenjo caught in the unblockable. And now the momentum appears to be on Linda's side, but Dragon Screw leg whip from Holloway is trying to cut that momentum off. Linda raking the face with those sneakers. Big chops to the chest. Holloway just trying to outmaneuver Linda, able to use that superior agility, that lucha style that he is so well known for. Neither side able to gain the upper hand in that test of strength. Now the two battling it out. James bringing the fight back into that orange Gatorade corner, trying to bring this matchup closer to his partner, and he will bring Shenjo in. And it looked like the two of them were trying to set up for something in that corner turnbuckle, but Linda able to power out of that, but not able to get out of that lift and drop onto her neck. And that is going to send Linda back to her own corner and bring Eric Alpizar back into this contest. Eat defeat from Linda, and Alpizar transitioning directly into that knee bar. Excellent teamwork from the Alpizars. And Shenjo once again going to that patented hip throw. He will bring Holloway back into this contest. And it looks like they're setting up big double powerbomb, crushing Alpizar into the mat. Big moonsault, double stomp. Alpizar rolls out of the way, goes directly into those mounted punches. Alpizar once again, low roundhouse, taking Holloway's legs out from under his legs. You can't outstrike Alpizar. You saw Holloway trying to measure him with that jab. Alpizar keeping his hands up. He is an expert in shoot martial arts. However, Holloway able to grab a hold, trying to work the legs of Alpizar, trying to take the power away from those kicks. That is going to be so critical as his legs are once again taken out from under his legs. Ooh, big senton, and once again the Alpizar's fantastic teamwork in that blue Gatorade corner. Standing super kick to a kneeling opponent, followed by a drop kick to knee. That is that athletic style, but super kick from Linda. I was about to say that's that athletic style that you come to expect from Holloway, but Linda is not interested in these displays of athleticism. But Holloway will bring this fight back into that orange Gatorade corner. And once again, Shenjo is in this match. Big spine buster from Linda. And Linda just stomping out that lower midsection super kick. And Shenjo just crushing Linda's skull right on his knee. Going for that roaring lariat, but Linda escapes and will get back to her own corner. Shenjo just powering out of that double team offense. All the teamwork in the world is not going to make a difference, as Shenjo is having none of it. Ooh, big double leg from Alpizar as he transitions into the mounted punches. That's going to clear the apron. Holloway coming in with the assist. Big senton. And Shenjo now momentum shift with that spine buster. And Shenjo bringing Holloway back into this contest. And Alpizar with those patented kicks. But Holloway with that massive bomb into that orange Gatorade turnbuckle. Ooh, goes for that haluva kick, but Alpizar sidesteps, goes for the cover. 1, 2, only gets 2. Holloway now going for a cover of his own, but Linda now coming in to break it up. Step over, toe hold, face lock, trying to choke the life out of Holloway. And he was in that hold for so long. Spin out power bomb once again from Holloway. And Alpizar shuts him down. Knee to the gut, bringing Linda back into this contest. Holloway struck repeatedly by Alpizar, but Holloway responding back. Tombstone pile driver. Backslide cover. Alpizar has a long way to go. Count 2, but he is able to make it. Holloway now bringing Shenjo into this contest. Linda once again just shutting down that double team offense. And now the fight is back into that blue Gatorade corner. Misses the flying hip attack. And Shenjo will capitalize, lift and drop onto her neck. But Linda is to her feet first. Just got that extra burst of energy she's going to need in this contest. Once again, eat the feet, crushing the jaw of Shenjo. And the Alpizars are once again in the driver's seat. Just as I say that, Shenjo bringing this fight back in that orange Gatorade corner, back into the corner of Slam Channel 5, as Shenjo just hits repeated clubbing blows to the legs of Alpizar, caught in that tree of woe, trying to take the power away from him. Big reverse chokeslam from Alpizar. And Shenjo has had enough as he responds back with a low blow. Harada not calling for the disqualification. He's going to let them fight. And Shenjo, massive momentum shift thus far. But just as I say that, there's that massive kick rush that Alpizar is so well known for. And Shenjo crumbles to the mat. Big reverse Frankensteiner. Bigger big boy senton. And Linda bringing Holloway back into this. Ooh, big German suplex. Linda dropping Holloway on his head with that DDT. Holloway measuring the distance. Once again goes for that haluva kick. Unable to find its mark. Respond back. Arm drag to the center of the ring. Blue Thunder Bomb. That's going to clear both aprons. Shenjo able to cut her off, but Linda kicking out at 2.9. The very last possible moment. Senton off the top rope, but Linda is not finished. Big flying neck breaker. And Alpizar off the apron. And now the two men just battling it out. And a devastating kick, responding back with a super kick of his own. And now Shenjo coming in, but Alpizar cutting off that momentum before it's even able to get started. Goes for the cover, 1, 2. Still not enough to put the Alpizars away. Just how much more is it gonna take? Eric starting to get fired up here. Big knee to the gut, and Linda will once again get brought back into this contest. And Shenjo powering out of that tandem offense. He's calling for the end right now, but that well-measured jab to the face puts Shenjo onto the mat. Now once again calling for the finish. Linda is in that corner turnbuckle. He could be going for that ultimate space jam. It looks like he is. Linda caught in that high blue Gatorade district. Ultimate space jam. Goes for the cover, 1. Only 1. Too close to that blue Gatorade corner. Belly to belly overhead suplex, and both competitors are on the mat. It looks like both sides electing to tag in a fresher competitor. Big double drop kick from the Alpizars. And Eric with those highly educated feet. Dropping. Oh my god, and there was those strike combination that has put away so many competitors. Shenjo once again calling for the finish. Once. Twice. 3 times. Will plant Linda onto the mat. And Alpizar's busted Holloway open with those clubbing blows to the face. All 4 competitors giving everything they can. He did the deal. Nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. As the Falcon Arrow puts away yet another competitor. That maneuver so devastating, so effective. But that is going to put up 1 in the victory column for Slam Channel 5. Yeah, that was just a fantastic match. We are off to a great start tonight. So let's keep that momentum going. Let's go ahead and cut over to that #1 Contenders tournament that I alluded to earlier on this evening. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. So, of course, we had the upper half of the brackets that was begun last week. D-Mob, Osprey, Jordan, and Josh Pearlman advancing to the second round. But we have got some legendary competitors, both from Blake's house as well as from Judgment Pro Wrestling. The first match you are going to be seeing tonight is going to be Def Jam Band Tier Champion Joey Bagi, the man that wrote the book on how to fight in New York, going up against Mr. Adams of the Firm. But later on this evening, we will have to look forward to COLBY returning to in-ring action, going up against Ryan Pearlman. Ryan Pearlman's brother Josh already advancing to the second round, but it is going to be one hell of a challenge to get through COLBY. That being said, you can't count him out. Josh got through Sterling, who was an equally formidable opponent. Later on this evening, the only Robert Walsh going up against Mr. Smith of the Firm. And our final match of the tournament tonight is going to be JJ Mondo, Julius Longmore, going up against the ruler himself, Slick Rick. But that is all for much later on this evening. Let's go ahead and get to our first match right away. Joey Bagi, Mr. Adams, to advance to the second round of the #1 Contenders tournament. And if I could speak on a level of education of a competitor's feat, Joey is just as dangerous as Alpizar. Those kicks can come fast and out of nowhere. Oh, we've got new gear from Mr. Adams of the firm. Mr. Adams rocking the red suit tonight. Possibly got treated to some new gear after winning the Blake's House Tag Team titles several weeks ago. So Mr. Adams looking to become a double champion, and he could do so if he wins this tournament and then goes on to face A-Man and wins that match. But right now, he's got to get through Joey Bagi, who is just a monster of a competitor. As I said, Joey Bagi wrote the Bible on how to fight in New York. Well, we are not in New York tonight. We are in Blake's house, but I am sure those same rules will apply over the course of this matchup. We are seeing probably a similar situation with the Pearlman brothers. Mr. Adams is a tag team specialist. We're going to have to see. The big question mark is how well he handles himself in a singles capacity, where he will not have Mr. Smith on the apron to assist. He will not have JB3 at ringside. He's got to do this one all by himself, but he's holding his own quite well. Big standing guillotine to the back of the head. And that suplex will dump Joey to the outside, and it looks like they're not even going to wait to get back into the ring. They're going to fight it out right in front of the crowd here. And Joey bringing out a plank of wood and cut off immediately by Mr. Adams. Harada's counts at 12. Joey will make his way back into the ring, as will Mr. Adams. And looks like he's trying to set up for some sort of backdrop, but Joey has had it scouted on both attempts. And now both men just slugging it out. This has turned into a brawl. You gotta figure a brawl favors Mr. Adams.
Give up.
And Adams will come out on top in that exchange as he starts to work the leg of Joey. You saw similar tactics being used in that tag team contest earlier. Work the leg of the striker that wants to do as much damage as possible with his feet. And you got to figure that tactic proved to be effective in that tag team contest. Ooh, big flying forearm smash from Joey Bag of Donuts. And just a devastating lariat as well. Mr. Adams finally able to hit that backdrop, but at tremendous cost to himself as it was reversed so many times. Gotta figure those bulldogs, those neck breakers, doing sustained damage as Joey locks on that Boston Crab. Big Manhattan drop, standing shooting star. Sometimes you forget just what a spectacular athlete Joey Bag of Donuts is. It looks like he's going up top here. Thinks better of it as he sees something he doesn't like from Mr. Adams on the floor. And Mr. Adams now starting to work that shin lock, trying to slow Joey down further. Joey's got a lot more fight in him than that, but Mr. Adams trying to extinguish the flame, and that big boot, that bigger lariat might be enough to do it too. And that was nearly enough right there. Joey barely able to get a shoulder off the mat. Joey once again, another Manhattan drop, standing shooting star, gets a count 2 out of it. Big flying shoulder block. Ugh. Joey monkey flip out of the corner. Big kick to the gut. But it's still not enough. Mr. Adams, like, really going for it in this contest. You can tell how badly he wants to be a double champion. Although that's not to take away from Joey. Joey is, of course, the defending Def Jam Band Tier champion. This would get him double champion accolades as well if he were to advance at the end of this tournament and defeat A-Man in that championship match.
10 minutes gone.
Big standing Rana. Joey once again locking on that Boston Crab. He's trying to grind down his opponent. But Mr. Adams having none of it. Ooh, roll up seemingly out of nowhere. Joey may have been playing possum on the mat there. And nearly catches Mr. Adams by surprise. And another flashy roll-up, but this time Mr. Adams was prepared. Only a 1 count, massive boot to the face. You gotta figure, at some point, Joey's gotta start going for those bombs of strikes that he's so well known for. Because Mr. Adams has so much momentum over the course of this match. Big pile driver to Joey, and Mr. Adams is getting fired up. Once again, another backdrop. This one, no trouble hitting that on Joey Bag of Donuts, but Joey still got plenty of fight left in him. He's going up top. Diving elbow, but Mr. Adams rolls out of the way as Joey comes crashing to the mat. And another lariat just crushing Joey and crushing him a second time, but Joey's so crafty. Big slam into the mat, and he's setting up for something here. Crosses the desert, springboard, elbow drop, buries it in the heart of Mr. Adams. And once again, locking on that Boston Crab. And that hold was on for so long. Gotta figure that damage is starting to rack up. And another flashy roll-up, 1, 2. Count 2. And you can see Mr. Adams starting to be worn down here. These repeated pinfall and submission attempts are really starting to get at him. Just how many more holds is he going to be able to break? Just how many more pinfalls is he going to be able to pick his shoulder up off the mat? Big super kick from Joey, but Adams responding back with a crushing lariat, but that took so much out of him. Just how much more does he have left in the tank? Big back elbow, but he just can't capitalize. Mr. Adams is a tag team specialist. He has been in the ring solo for over 15 minutes. He may have not been prepared for exactly what this match would entail. But he's trying to get the crowd behind him. He's trying to get fired up. He's trying to find that inner strength that he needs to put Joey away. And he repeatedly burying those knees into the chest of Joey Bag of Donuts. It looks like he may have found that inspiration, but Joey, big Russian leg sweep, nearly clipping Adams' head on that blue Gatorade turnbuckle. But Mr. Adams definitely delivering Joey into that top turnbuckle. It looks like Joey will take a breather inside the ring. Mr. Adams will do so on the outside, and this fight will continue. Big backbreaker. And Mr. Adams now, you can tell he's struggling. He doesn't really know how he can approach Joey because he's hit him with nearly everything he's got. And Joey has kicked out of everything springboard elbow once again, just burying it in the chest of Mr. Adams. Ooh, Mr. Adams coming up swinging, but doesn't quite find its mark. Lariat. Oh, that could be it. 1, 2, 3 count fall. And Mr. Adams on his path to become double champion, taking out possibly the favorite in this tournament with that devastating lariat. Or as he calls it, the motion to squash, just crushing Joey Bag of Donuts under the might of that lariat. And we are 3 for 3 on just spectacular showings tonight. As you could tell, both of those competitors just had so much energy. Both of them wanted it so badly, and Mr. Adams narrowly able to squeak by with the victory. One thing I did notice was the game was not running particularly well. Thing is, like, I don't have anything else open, which is somewhat distressing. Let's see. Let me do this. Something is causing my shit to be fucked up. Yeah, nothing, as far as I'm aware, is downloading in the background. Let me... Let's see. I know Chrome just absolutely hates memory, so let me kill that. Yeah, that is my next best guess. Let me see here. So, yeah, let me just close that out and hope that's gonna kind of alleviate some of the load on the computer. So, let's go ahead and get back to some Blake's House wrestling action. So I alluded to it a little bit, or well, at least in the dark match. And to a lesser extent, a couple weeks ago, KOF is here again. And what that means in the world of Blake's House, we have got 4 competitors that have been battling it out for years that are certainly hungry for a moment in the spotlight. So let's go ahead and give these guys an opportunity. Sterling, of course, already eliminated from the JPW #1 Contenders tournament. So if you were tuned into twitch.tv/ALXice, you would have seen these 4 competitors going head-to-head in the world of King of Fighters. Well, they are bringing that same energy to a professional wrestling ring. We've got Sterling, Princler, Alfonso, and Money Blake Cavus. fatal four-way action, and that's next. And Sterling and Alfonso shooting out of their respective corners. You know anything about Sterling? Sterling is a man that has got his foot on the gas 24/7. Blake trying to stretch out the legs of Alfonso. And we are so early in this contest. It is still just total chaos. Not quite to the scale of those Mag.Lo Battle Royals where it's 8 competitors in the ring, but just you can tell how badly all 4 of these individuals want this win tonight. So Princler and Zoe battling it out near the top of the ring there. But closer to the commentator's desk, you can see Money Blake and Sterling going head-to-head. This is a rivalry that has transcended like competitions, transcended leagues. Those two have been battling it out for over 10 years. Big chop block from Princler as he is now going head-to-head with Sterling, as all 4 competitors seem to have switched dance partners a little bit here. Big European uppercut. Sterling with that big fire does not find its mark, but that headbutt will on Alfonso. And big double power bomb from Sterling and Blake. Alfonso trying to capitalize with that cover early. Not quite able to do so. There's just too much claustrophobia in the ring. Both Sterling and Alfonso locking on holds. Blake and Princler in trouble. Sterling, that is the sort of fighting style you come to expect from Sterling. Busting Princler open with that foreign object. Sterling connecting with that tombstone pile driver. He's fired up. Just shutting down everybody. Alfonso finally the man to break that momentum. And Fireman's Carry Buster from Alfonso. And Blake returning with that big lariat. Ooh, that standing elbow drop from Sterling, but and Blake with that spectacular feat of agility. But that did run him into the corner with Alfonso, and Sterling once again trying to find his mark with that big fire that he's using so effectively in his matches. Belly to belly overhead suplex from Alfonso. Princler going to the top turnbuckle, but thinks better of it. Princler continuing to work the arm of Sterling. Back switch. Scorpion death drop as Sterling locks on that stretch muffler. Nobody to break the hold. This is, of course, fatal four-way action. You do not need to be involved in the pinfall or submission to lose this match. However, that was excellent timing from Sterling. Alfonso couldn't do anything. He had that sharpshooter locked in, totally unable to protect himself from that flaming breath that Sterling uses. And Alfonso was left stunned. Sterling now going into mounted punches. Alfonso breaking it up, but Sterling so stubborn, goes for it again and is broken up immediately by Blake. Blake just crushing the lungs high and low. Sterling caught in the unblockable. Blake going for that frog splash in honor of his Uncle Eddie. Does not connect. But Sterling will just crush Alfonso with Emerald Flosion. It is just absolute chaos here. As all 4 competitors want to fight so close to that orange Gatorade turnbuckle. And Sterling once again locking on that stretch muffler. Alfonso forcing Sterling to break the hold. Princler backslide 2. And Alfonso going for that flipping senton off the top, but Blake rolling out of the way. And Alfonso goes crashing to the mat. Beautiful Northern Light suplex, too. That was nearly enough right there. Sterling, giant chokeslam, crushes Alfonso, goes for the cover. 1, 2. Princler's distracted. And Princler does not see Sterling going for that cover. He had that crossface locked in on Money Blake. And that is going to allow Sterling to pick up the victory. And it is exactly like that is why I say ring awareness is so critical in a Fatal 4-Way setting. If you are not aware of what your other two opponents are doing at all times, you could very easily lose the match and be none the wiser. Sterling came just a little bit more prepared than the other three competitors, and he is able to come out victorious in this Fatal 4-Way contest. But I think we are going to be bouncing back and forth to the #1 Contenders tournament tonight. So let's go ahead and check back in on the bracket there. As we have a lot of matches to go through to find a #1 contender for A-Man's JPW title that will be defended for the first time ever on Blake's House TV after the resolution of this tournament. So our next matchup is going to be COLBY going up against tag team specialist Ryan Pearlman. Let's go ahead and get into that match right now, and we can go over tail of the tape as the two competitors make their entrances. COLBY making his way to the ring. A man whose source of power comes from his own anger, a nearly limitless power source. But he is going to be going up against Ryan Pearlman. Now, it should be important to note, originally I discounted the Pearlman brothers and the Firm as those were two tag teams specialized in tag team wrestling, but you saw Josh Pearlman as well as Mr. Adams pick up victories against just blue chip athletes. So certainly anything is possible in a Blake's House wrestling ring. And right now we've got Ryan Pearlman going up against COLBY. As I said, COLBY's power is directly proportional to how angry he is at his opponent. And the longer the match goes on, the more effective he seems to become, the more resilient he seems to become. So you've got to figure Ryan's best strategy is to get through this match early. Ooh, amazing display of athletic ability as he springboards off that blue Gatorade turnbuckle. So COLBY possibly setting up for something there, but Ryan Pearlman just too fast for him. Of course, we saw much earlier in this bracket several matchups of agility versus power, and the answer to that debate may surprise you. So Ryan certainly has as good a chance as any, but COLBY's going to try to shut the door on him as quickly as he's able to do so. Sidesteps that crossbody, goes for the cover, wants to test Ryan out possibly here. But you can see Ryan just foot on the accelerator the entire time, and you have to be against COLBY. You cannot relent. You cannot give him an opening, because if you allow him an opening, he will take it, and he will take it to great effect.
Give up.
Ryan starting to work the leg of COLBY, but COLBY is to his feet first. But to Ryan's credit, he has not really allowed COLBY to light him up with those sledgehammer-like shots that he is so well known for. where that pump handle slam was possibly the first very significant hold that COLBY was able to land over the course of this match. And COLBY is dazed. Ryan Pearlman in total control. Big jawbreaker. COLBY running the ropes. Lariato! Cover one, but only one. You saw this with Mr. Adams. The hunger of these competitors. They do not want to be put away in these wrestling contests. And it is going to take more than one atomic lariat for COLBY to get the victory here, as Ryan Pearlman has clearly exhibited over the course of this match. Big jawbreaker from Ryan Pearlman. Elbow to face, shutting COLBY down. He's just not allowing COLBY a moment. And you can't afford to allow him anything. COLBY setting up into that turnbuckle. Big spear into the corner. Just flattening Ryan Pearlman up against that orange Gatorade turnbuckle. And this time it is Ryan mismeasuring that distance a little bit. COLBY coming off that rope just a little bit faster than he was prepared for. This time, however, his distance was measured perfectly as he hits that Rana, covers one, but COLBY kicking out at one. It's going to take a lot more than that to put COLBY away, and there's those devastating strikes that COLBY is so well known for. If you let COLBY brawl with you, you are going to be in trouble. And another pump handle slam cover, 1, 2, and that was nearly enough. Ryan setting COLBY up in the corner, oh my god. Just folding himself up against that blue Gatorade turnbuckle. COLBY possibly setting up for another atomic lariat. Lariato! Cover, 1, 2. But once again, the resilience on display from Ryan Pearlman, refusing to be pinned by that atomic lariat of COLBY. He's saying, it is going to take more than that. How much more do you got? Well, COLBY's got another atomic lariat for him. 2. But 3. 3 is not enough. Ryan Pearlman now setting COLBY up near that blue Gatorade turnbuckle, elects to lock on that crossface hold. COLBY able to break it, but after a fairly significant amount of time, he was stuck in that hold. Then Ryan Pearlman trying to slow this match down. COLBY's accrued a lot of offensive momentum, and he needs to slow COLBY down, as resilience will only get you so far. Once again, another flying head scissors. And Ryan Pearlman just showcasing that spectacular agility of his. Big falling fist from COLBY. COLBY going for that roaring elbow, but not quite able to find his mark. Big vertical suplex from Pearlman. Shutting him down with an elbow to face, and now Ryan Pearlman starting to get the crowd on his side. Ooh, snap arm drag, seemingly out of nowhere. Cover, 1, 2. Only 2. Now the two men battling it out. As I said earlier, you don't want to get in a brawl against COLBY, but that flying heel kick answered back with a headbutt, and COLBY is to his feet first. COLBY repeated running slams, and COLBY possibly setting up for another atomic lariat. Runs the ropes. Lariato! No, he's not done. Ryan Pearlman may have been playing possum here. Goes for the cover. Gets 2. The heart on display from Pearlman is just nothing short of phenomenal. Another flash roll up, 2. Still only 2. Complete shot from Ryan Pearlman. He's not done. Another roll-up. Is COLBY going to be able to get out? He will once again at 2. But Ryan Pearlman just in total control. He's setting up for something off the apron. Flying leg lariat springboard from the apron. Just crumbling COLBY down to the mat. Step up enziguri. And the crowd is absolutely loving what Ryan Pearlman is bringing to this contest. Another flying head scissors. And standing guillotine leg drop right on the throat of COLBY. Another standing Frankensteiner. But COLBY now, another pump handle slam, and we're back in COLBY's realm. These power moves possibly setting up for another atomic lariat. That has to be it. Pearlman has taken 5 of those over the course of this match, but 5 lariats still not enough. COLBY's going to need to find something else. But I don't know what that something else is. Big pump handle driver. 1, 2. That's not it. The atomic lariat, clearly not it. As Pearlman able to roll with that strike. That's the only explanation I've got as to how he's able to stand back up after 5 atomic lariats. But I don't know what else COLBY has in the tank. For that matter, I don't know what else Pearlman has in the tank. Both men hitting each other with everything they've got, and it's just not enough. COLBY shutting Pearlman down, but you can see this match starting to wear them out. COLBY setting up for yet another atomic lariat, runs the ropes, letting it fall! 1, 2, 3 count fall! And Ryan Pearlman giving COLBY the fight of his life. He just refused to stay down. It took 6 of one of the most devastating maneuvers in the world of Blake's house to finally put Pearlman away. Also, fuck off, Dave. That is not a 4-star match. Yeah. That was an outstanding match. I gotta say, like, this tournament has been, just from top to bottom, really good matches. Which I'm really happy with. Like, that is props to UGK for creating some damn good wrestlers. And, like, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit, because I've got guys in this tournament that are also putting on great matches. Like, gotta say, this has been a really great showcase of both sides' talent. Yeah, for sure. And that is not to take away from you, Nick. Like, that is just kind of the like, just the nature of this particular event. And yeah, like, I think that's what's cool about matchups like this is, hey, COLBY bets everything on the Atomic Lariat, so, like, that's what he wants to have as his match ender, but he'll go to it early. That gives guys chances to kick out of his big move, and then, all right, now COLBY's got to scratch his head and figure out, should I keep doing this? Should I go for that pump handle driver? And then we're on the other side of the coin. Like, all right, your guys are... All right, we're going to build and build and build. And then when it's time to hit that finish, you know this match is almost certainly over. So, yeah, it's... like, I definitely like how our wrestlers, like, fight one another. As an aside... So I think I've saved this 3 times now, but want to make sure I don't get screwed. And closing Google Chrome appears to have fixed my issues, because that match ran just fine. We are in Mag.Lo Battle Royal territory. So certainly hope there are some people here that can suggest wrestlers that want to watch some matches. I understand both of you have some new characters that you can debut on this particular event. So we have got Kurt London making his Blake's House debut. And, let's see. Yeah, but I mean, like, we've seen Lars already. Is kind of what I'm figuring here, but, like, Jim Jack is a totally new guy. I actually like what you've done with his trunks. But, did you not make that? I could have sworn I downloaded this from your Steam profile. Oh yeah, Kurt London is a new wrestler from JPW. Okay. Okay, yeah, I have heard that name. One of my coworkers actually works for Monster Jam, so he talks about monster truck lore all the time. Let's see. But, alright, so we need some more wrestlers to go into this Mag.Lo Battle Royal. Of course, we can always put in a Blake's House guy or two. Actually, what wouldn't be bad? Let's see. So we haven't had Antonio in a match in a little while. Let's see. And since nobody's really throwing names at me here, let's see. I kind of want to see Matt Knapp. I can definitely make Matt Knapp happen. We haven't seen him in a little bit. Let's see. But that's still going to leave 3 more names if you guys want to start throwing some people out there. That's not a bad idea, because I have not put any of, let's see, any of Ian's guys really on in a little while. So let's go ahead and do that. Being perfectly honest, like, part of it is his guys are a little bit overstated, because they're balanced around 220, and most of my guys are balanced around 180. So like, I don't give them a lot of single stuff to do. But, I mean, the Mag.Lo Battle Royal, pretty low stakes event. Like, can give them a moment to shine. Yeah, like if you notice, like I have his guys mostly in battle royals or mostly in tags for that very reason. You know what? Fat Albert was a pretty popular pick, pretty popular person on the. Pretty popular person on the dark match last week. I am totally cool with that. And nobody says anything. My go-to is always put Zack Sabre Jr. in the match. Alright, I like it. The one like, and I'll put Zack Sabre Jr. in a wrestling match. Alright, so I think we got ourselves a Mag.Lo Battle Royal. Once again, we're actually in a pretty similar situation with last week, where we've got just an absolutely outrageous cast of characters to choose from here. But, yeah. But, let's go ahead and jump right into tonight's contest.
Fight! Oh!
Alright, we are at the start of yet another Mag.Lo Battle Royal. Keep an eye on Kurt London and Jim Jack, two new to Blake's House competitors.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Matt nearly put to the outside. Remember, this is over rope battle royal, so your time in this match could end at any given moment.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
See Katra battling it out with Admiral Funk in that blue Gatorade corner. Fat Albert possibly has the right idea here. He is trying to keep away from people as much as possible. That's the strategy you have to employ in these battle royals, these multi-man matches. And Fat Albert now trying to roll up Kurt London. And he does so. But Antonio has had enough of that. Jim Jack, big backdrop onto Fat Albert. And it looks like he's had enough of Albert staying away from the action here. And I was keeping my attention on the Jim Jack Fat Albert contest. Did not even see Kurt London's elimination. However, that will certainly not be the last we see of him. As tonight's contest was more of a teaser for what is the newest member of Judgment Pro Wrestling. Big STO and suplex from Matt and Fat Albert onto Zack Sabre Jr. Flashy roll-up from Knapp, gets two, but Zack Sabre Jr. able to escape the hold. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Zack Sabre Jr. goes for the cover. Fat Albert kicking out immediately. Jim Jack locking on a Kimura onto Katra. And Matt Nav repeated. Oh my God! Belly to belly overhead suplex, launching Antonio to the outside. And that is both of our luchadors, the first eliminations in tonight's contest. DSJ, that stretch to Jim Jack. Oh my God, devastating Dragon Suplex from Zack Sabre Jr. And Matt with his signature hold, that dick hold, just crushing the genitals of Jim Jack. Big shoulder block from Fat Albert as Jim Jack and Admiral Funk just battle it out. Fat Albert cover, but Matt Knapp able to kick out.
Give up. Give up. Oh, yeah.
Fireman's carry buster from Jim Jack, just crushing Zack Sabre Jr., but unable to find his mark with that big boot, and ZSJ locking on the Kimura. So difficult to keep track, even with 6 competitors now in the ring. Fat Albert now trying to roll up Jim Jack as Admiral Funk just plants Zack Sabre Jr. into the mat. DSJ showcasing that European-style chain wrestling.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Give up. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And still, it's anybody's match here. After those first 2 eliminations, it's so difficult to pick just who has got the upper hand here. Ooh, big STO and suplex from Jim Jack and Matt Knapp. But Admiral Funk now delivering repeated mounted punches to the head of Jim Jack as Matthew Knapp does the same to the back of Fat Albert's head. And Jim Jack now locking on that Kimura onto Admiral Funk. Big double stomp from Ketra. And that devastating chop planting Ketra to the mat. And Jim Jack now shooting Matthew Knapp to the outside. We have another elimination. Jim Jack now locking on the Boston Crab. And that's going to buy Zack Sabre some time as Mario unable to count the pinfall. Big double suplex going to send Ketra to the floor. And we have another elimination. Only a count of 1. This match has a lot left to go. Ooh, big back elbow from Zack Sabre Jr. Running the ropes, could be setting up for that PK. Admiral Funk just planting Jim Jack.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And once again, Mario unable to be in 2 places at the same time has potentially cost someone an elimination. DSJ locking on that ankle hold, but Admiral Funk still has a lot more left in the tank as he just slams ZSJ once, twice, 3 times into the mat. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3 count fall. Admiral Funk with another elimination. Admiral Funk able to buy some time as Fat Albert just folds up Jim Jack. And Admiral Funk trying to break this up, but it will continue. Big double axe handle from Fat Albert. 2 big double axe handles. And Fat Albert using his size to great effect, dropping onto Admiral Funk. And repeated clubbing blows and a roaring lariat. Just crushing Fat Albert. Fat Albert just proving to be notoriously difficult to keep down. Admiral Funk just crushing Jim Jack with that lariat. And this final three, just all three of these competitors have so much staying power. No one seems to be able to get an upper hand. Big lift and drop, just crushing Jim Jack. But once again, Fat Albert just shutting down those offensive efforts. So we're going to get a repeat of that spot from moments ago. And Jim Jack eliminated. And Admiral Funk with that suplex stunner. And Fat Albert is dazed, but he is not out. It's like Fat Albert wants to take this fight away from the ropes. Fear of an earlier elimination, possibly. But you've got to appreciate his strategy. He's managed to stay in this fight for so long by fighting conservatively. But now we are down to one-on-one. You can't run from Admiral Funk, captain of the SS Pimpin', for very long. And Admiral Funk rolling out of the way of that frog splash, lifts and drops Fat Albert onto his neck, but Fat Albert scrambles to his feet so early. So Admiral Funk will plant him once again, goes for the cover. 1, 2, no. Fat Albert able to get his shoulder up at the last possible moment. And you're going to have to see just what Admiral Funk is going to be able to do to put Fat Albert away. If you stayed after we went off air last week, you saw the level of resiliency that Fat Albert has. This match could go on for quite a while, as Fat Albert is just so tough to put away. But at the same time, this is an over-the-top rope battle royal. At any given moment, your run could just end. But Fat Albert, just an excellent tactician, keeping the fight away from the ropes as often as possible. He's going to make that very difficult for Admiral Funk. However, that freak accident crushing Fat Albert. 1, 2. Only 2. And those repeated strikes, you can see the frustration on the face of Admiral Funk. Once again going for a cover, but Fat Albert able to get into the ropes. And this could be it. Fat Albert with the elimination. He will advance to the Mag.Lo Open Challenge. So, what I will say, GK, we checked his stats last week. It's going to be, like, I don't know. I'm going to let this rock, partly because the, like, the Mag.Lo Challenge, like, nothing is really on the line. Like, he's statted weird, but not statted crazy overpowered. It's going to be a long match, considering Fat Albert has, like, 3s in a lot of his offensive stats and, like, 8 to 10s in his defensive stats. But we'll let it play out. Plus, you can see Shenjo and Alfonso hanging out in the chat. They're excited to see Fat Albert on Blake's House TV. And, I mean, you've heard from me time and time again talking about Def Jam. I'm going to run the thing people want to see. So if people want to see Fat Albert in the main event, we'll put Fat Albert in the main event. Yeah, I gotta say, Shenjo, you're having a real good couple weeks in that You got Jasper to the main last week with your pick, and then you came in right when Fat Albert wins the Battle Royal, so you'll get to see Fat Albert in the main event. So I'd say you're having a pretty good time watching the show here. I don't know if I want to see Blake get sent to the Shadow Realm by the Rapture, but I don't know. We will cross that bridge at a slightly later juncture. But we've got a tournament to get to here, as we have the only Robert Walsh going up against Mr. Smith. So let's go ahead and get to that match right now. And I'm going to get some water as these entrances play out. And you can see Mr. Smith in the new gear that Mr. Adams is rocking. Their celebratory Blake's House Tag Team Championship suits. Red for the blood of their opponents. And you've got to figure Mr. Smith wants to make Robert Walsh bleed tonight. But Robert is no stranger to those rough style of matches. If I had to have a wrestler that he fights similar to, my immediate reaction would be to say Mick Foley. He is a bit of a hardcore specialist with no shortage of options if somebody wants to take a match into a more hardcore place. So Mr. Smith had best watch out for what you wish for, because you just might get it in the only Robert Walsh. And Robert going with those mounted punches to the face of Mr. Smith. And Robert just already making things difficult for his opponent here tonight. But Mr. Smith responding back elbow and a lariat, and blocking the back elbow of Robert, connecting with that headbutt and delivering a headbutt once again. And I don't know who I like more if this match goes to a brawl. The firm Notorious Bar Brawlers. They were picked up as JPW enforcers for their ability to get wild in a backstage setting. But by the same token, Robert Walsh is just as rough, just as rowdy. That sort of strike contest could go either way. Big scoop and slam. And Robert locking on that chokehold. Showcasing that rough style. Big scoop and slam once again. And Robert in control. Picture perfect side slam, but Mr. Smith having no more of that. But Robert doesn't seem to care. Powering through with the knee and once again locking on that chokehold. Mr. Smith trying once again, and once again, Robert just powering out of Mr. Smith's offensive efforts. Big vertical suplex from Robert Walsh. And this time, Mr. Smith able to connect with that spinebuster. You know he's been looking for that, but at a great cost to himself, as it was clearly so well scouted, but just absolutely devastating maneuver and nearly getting a pinfall victory out of that Dominator. Walsh now responding back. Big lariat, but that devastating tackle from Mr. Smith will plant Walsh onto his back. Swinging neck breaker from Robert as he's trying to regain control of this match. And big vertical suplex. And that devastating lariat from Mr. Smith, but Robert undeterred, once again going to that neckbreaker, shutting Mr. Smith down. And he's biting the forehead, busting open Mr. Smith. As I said, if there is somebody that is willing to fight just as dirty, just as rough as the Firm, it is Robert Walsh. And if you want to take a match there, he will be happy to do so. And once again, just raking his teeth against the forehead of Mr. Smith. Just trying to demoralize just as much as he's trying to injure. Big suplex to the outside. And Robert will take a moment to breathe as Mr. Smith is dazed. Stump puller, pile driver, planting Mr. Smith onto the mat. And that was nearly enough right there, but Mr. Smith somehow finding the energy to lift that shoulder. You gotta figure he's possibly inspired by his partner's performance earlier in this tournament. But inspiration will only get you so far when that forearm smash plants you to the mat all the same. Mr. Smith not afraid to use that headbutt despite him being busted open so severely. And Robert once again just trying to injure the face of Mr. Smith. Big power bomb followed by another headbutt. And Mr. Smith, you can tell he's starting to lose steam a little bit. That blood loss has got to be taking a toll on him. But Robert still has a lot more in the tank. And he is going to be delivering that excess energy into offensive effort. And as I said, he's so similar to Mankind, or so similar to Foley, ending the match with that mandible claw. Putting Mr. Smith away in decisive fashion. Possibly one of the most decisive victories in the first round of this tournament. You've got to figure that's going to give him an edge. As the longer your match goes on, the harder you have to fight for these victories, the more difficult it gets to be later on in the tournament. But congratulations to Robert as he put on one hell of a match, and he will advance to the second round of the number 1 Contenders tournament. Of course, our final match of the tournament tonight will be JJ Mondo versus Slick Rick. But that match is not going to be next. We do still have the King of Fighters TV title to get to. So let's go ahead and move over to that right now. And I'm going to need you guys to figure out exactly who is going to be taking place in that match, while I queue up the competitors. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, the nice thing about these tournament-style arcs is this plants the seeds for future angles. If we want to have Robert Walsh versus the Firm as a JPW like subplot, we can just do that, regardless of how the tournament plays out. I think that's partly why New Japan does so many tournament arcs, is it gives people an excuse to wrestle, and then you can kind of build storylines out of that. But, you know, here I am giving away the business. Oh, yeah, definitely. I am certain that the Firm are going to want retribution against Robert Walsh. But that retribution is going to have to wait, as there is a tournament in progress for the JPW Heavyweight Championship, or the JPW #1 contender spot. But we are getting sidetracked a little bit here, as we have the KOF TV title match right now, and we need to figure out exactly who's challenging for that this week. I did not download your Lars, because I did not think I would need him tonight, so that one's bad on me. We can have JK want to be one of the challengers. Like, I'm concerned he's a little bit too big for this match type. But honestly, I would be concerned that the Rapture could, like, the way he's currently statted, could probably take this 1v3 for the most part. Because, like, yeah, he could just randomly critical 3 guys in a row, and we've got, like, a 4-minute match. Actually, I've kind of got a somewhat amusing idea. Alright, I could put Steve Jobber in there. That's what I was going to suggest. Yes, there are some. So there's Stokely Hathaway of NXT. There's like 90s McMahon. Actually, shit. Better answer. We're putting Greg Legacy in this match. I was gonna say we could have David Arquette and RJ City, because I feel like they're pretty low statted, but I just remembered that we have Greg Legacy, whose music career was tragically cut short by Jason McLennan several weeks ago, and this is his opportunity to, this is his opportunity to get another shot at greatness. So, all right, I'm cool with this. Like, if GK puts this team on his back and starts walking, I'm not too mad at it, because he is going to be doing most of the work for this team. So, let's go ahead and jump into this match right now. we have certainly an unusual blue Gatorade team. We have the enforcer of Judgment Pro Wrestling, so very eager to come into this contest, but he was unable to get to the outside, or he was unable to get into the gorilla position without Greg Legacy and Steve Jobber joining him. You gotta figure Greg Legacy wants another shot at superstardom after his record deal was cut short. Unclear on the reasoning for Steve Jobber to be so eager to fight in this King of Fighters TV title match. But that is the blue Gatorade team going up against the American sports team. And right now we have just two mountainous men going head to head. The Gatekeeper versus Brian Battler. Gatekeeper a little bit too antsy there, unable to find much success off of those Irish whips to the corner. Big clubbing blow to the back of the head from Battler. And Gatekeeper responding back. A massive chop. And now we have got Steve Jobber in this contest, someone that we have not seen in quite some time. And Battler making the same mistake Gatekeeper made just moments ago. Unable to find his mark off of those hammer throws to the into the ropes. Steve Jobber trying to bring this fight back into his own corner. Battler now bringing Lucky into this contest. Lucky sidestepping whatever attacks that Jobber attempted to make as he starts to stretch Lucky out, trying to work that back and neck. Big kick to the side. Those long legs of Lucky so extremely devastating. But that jawbreaker will buy Jobber time, and here comes Greg Legacy. Former Tap Pool vocalist. Rakes the eyes, follows up with an uppercut. Back switch from Lucky, and that's going to buy him some time to bring Battler back into this contest. Back elbow blocked, and Greg Legacy has been cornered, been pushed into that orange Gatorade American sports team side. Big slap to the back of the head from Greg Legacy. And Legacy is in control here. Just slamming Battler to the mat and delivering repeated punches to the face. Battler finally reversing fortune with that backdrop. And that front drop kick, that patented front Legacy drop kick, is going to send Battler back to his own corner, and now it is the Gatekeeper up against Lucky. Member of the United States basketball team back in the 90s. You may have seen him on the Street Hoop League as he delivers a jumping B off the top rope. And a Gatekeeper just trying to wrench the neck of Lucky. Just trying to disable him any way that he can. Kami Goye, but GK is to his feet immediately. Lucky goes for the cover. 1, 2. But Only 2. Gatekeeper possibly underestimating Lucky a little bit here. And Gatekeeper now going back to his own corner, bringing Steve Jobber back into this contest. Steve Jobber a little bit distracted. Was focusing more on Lucky despite the fact that Lucky is not the legal man. And of course, this is King of Fighters 11 rules. You are not permitted to assist your team from the apron. So, Steve possibly not doing his homework on this matchup, which may end up costing him if he came into this match unprepared. That being said, those repeated thumbs to the eyes certainly wearing down the resilience of this American sports team. Steve Jobber pulling a foreign object seemingly out of nowhere, and Brian Battler has been busted open as Steve Jobber now locking on the dick hold, but Battler will not give up. We now have Legacy back into this contest. He is getting his back crushed by Brian Battler as he continues to drive that shoulder into the back. And Battler trying to bring this fight back to his own corner. Big drop kick. But Legacy protecting himself, bringing Jobber back into this contest. You've got to wonder about the strategy here, as Jobber had just battled it out with the American sports team. That being said, he seems to be handling himself quite effectively. And you've got to figure they're keeping the Gatekeeper waiting. Their strongest, most powerful competitor as that anchor. I don't know how much strategy this team was able to discuss as they walked their way down to the ring. But if Jobber and Legacy are able to assist in any way, that's going to be in wearing this team down so the Gatekeeper can come close up. And that appears to be the strategy they are employing here. Greg Legacy now, thumb to the eyes, and clubbing blow to the back, where Lucky was unable to keep track of him, unable to protect himself. And Greg Legacy is in control. Woo. Big running stomp. Yeah. But Lucky responding back, scissor kick, crushing Greg Legacy. And Battler delivering a devastating big boot. Steve Jobber unable to put Battler into that corner. And Battler, massive spear, just crushing Steve Jobber up against that blue Gatorade turnbuckle. Steve starting to work the legs a little bit. Manhattan drop, and Battler, it's just too big, too strong, too fast for Steve to keep up with. Steve connects to that jawbreaker, and now bringing the Gatekeeper in, the enforcer of Judgment Pro Wrestling. Goes to that second rope and crushes Battler with that massive bulk and gets a count 2 out of it. And that's going to send Battler back to his own corner. GK possibly setting up for that entry denial bomb. No, just a massive power bomb, however. And now the American sports team appears to be on the ropes. However, the American sports team not giving this up without a fight. And devastating spear, just folding him up. Muscle press, 1, 2. And that was nearly enough to put Lucky away. However, Lucky not going to his own corner, will deliver a jumping B off the top rope. And wild haymaker, but the Gatekeeper to his feet immediately. It's going to take more than that to put him away. However, the Gatekeeper will return to his own corner and elect to conserve some energy for a crucial moment later in this contest, as Legacy and Jobber have been handling themselves quite effectively. As I said, I don't know how much strategy this team was able to talk on their way to the ring, but they seem to be doing quite well for themselves against the American sports team. And Greg Legacy just pounding the back of the head of Brian Battler. Oh, big backdrop reversal from Battler. Goes for the cover against Legacy. 1, 2. And that was nearly enough to put Greg Legacy away.
20 minutes gone.
God, the size difference between these two competitors is just absolutely unfathomable.
3.
But Legacy has managed to keep himself in this fight for quite a while, and he will bring Steve Jobber back into this contest. Jobber going for that drop kick to knee, but too little too late, as Battler able to bring this fight back into that orange Gatorade corner. Elects to shoot back into the blue Gatorade corner, possibly taunting this blue Gatorade team. And Steve Jobber once again raking the face with that foreign object. But Battler responding back. Vertebreaker, but he's going to go back to his own corner, as he may have gotten a little more than he bargained for out of Steve Jobber. Big Manhattan drop and a clubbing chop to the chest, putting all of his body into that strike, and it's enough to put Battler onto the mat. And there, Jobber connecting with that drop kick to knee. You know he's been looking for that for quite some time. And Jobber now bringing the Gatekeeper in when this American sports team is so wounded from the repeated assaults of Legacy and from Steve Jobber. Roaring lariat, crushing Battler. And Battler now will go back to his own corner and bring Lucky into this match. Lucky, however, massive scissor kick. But Lucky not finished. But the Gatekeeper trying to finish him with that head hold lariat. And he's calling for the finish, but Lucky breaking away with that Pele kick, and both competitors to their feet. Clubbing blows to the side of the head from the Gatekeeper will put him back in the driver's seat. But Lucky responding back with a series of strikes as he goes up to the top rope. Diving off the orange Gatorade turnbuckle, flying knee to the side of the head. And the Gatekeeper once again going back to his own corner. For a team that has never tagged together, they are working together extremely effectively to go up against this American sports team. However, that might be it for Greg Legacy. It is, and that's going to bring the Gatekeeper back into this contest. Wild haymaker from Lucky connects. Runs the ropes. Back switch, but the Gatekeeper had it scouted. Big body press. 1, 2, 3 count fall, and we are 1 elimination apiece here. Big palm strike from Battler, and the Gatekeeper is in trouble. But an untimely moment, Harada caught in the way of Battler's attack, is able to finally connect with that spear, but it's not enough to put the Gatekeeper down.
1, 2, 3.
Gatekeeper dazed on the outside, but in before even a count of 5. Gatekeeper clearly has a lot left in the tank, but The American sports team is determined to exhaust all that and more. Big spear from Battler, but Jobber to his feet immediately. And now both competitors circling one another, trying to gain the upper hand. Running DDT. You can see him have to jump up to negate that size advantage. And Steve Jobs just choking the life out of Battler. And now it is Battler up against Steve Jobber.
30 minutes gone.
Big football tackle from the big football player. Sit out, power bomb, and 3-count fall. We are down to the Gatekeeper against Brian Battler. And running bomb, 1, 2, 3-count fall. And the Gatekeeper very nearly able to carry Steve Jobber and Greg Legacy to a victory. But the American sports team was just too strong for this seemingly thrown together team. As I believe Jobber and Legacy rushed the gorilla position when they saw the Gatekeeper was interested in the KOF TV title, possibly attempting to ride the coattails of the enforcer of Judgment Pro Wrestling. But the Gatekeeper just not quite enough to put Battler away in those final moments of that contest. I do gotta say, that was a pretty good match. Like, I'm definitely liking the idea of I am liking the idea of, if we are gonna let 200 plus tier wrestlers, because I know somebody asked for Kenny Omega not too long ago. If we want to have guys like that in here, if we can have some lower card guys to kind of balance the stats out a little bit, that made for a really fun match. And gotta say, definitely liking how that all played out. And yeah, I gotta say, we've been keeping the momentum going of this Blake's House Wrestling show. It has just been classic match after classic match after classic match. So let's go ahead and cut back to the tournament. Because we have one more match of the #1 Contenders tournament tonight. And that, of course, being JJ Mondo up against Rick the Ruler. I can check that after all the real matches, because I know 2 of the members of the American sports team are extremely reasonable. And a misclick got me because I wanted Heavy D to be the 3rd member of the team, and I misclicked, and because it was in a tournament, I couldn't undo it without undoing the progress of the whole tournament. So I do not know what the second Brian Battler statted at. But we can check those after we finish up the official matches tonight. But as I said, we have JJ Mondo going up against one of his heroes in Rick the Ruler in this JPW #1 Contenders tournament. We pulled some strings to give JJ an opportunity to fight Slick Rick, And they are going to be going at it head-to-head in the first round of tonight's contest. Or of this tournament, rather. So let's go ahead and get into that match right now. JJ Mondo, one of the first members of Judgment Pro Wrestling that we would see on Blake's House television. He's become a bit of a fan favorite, even with the Blake's House home crowd. But he is going to be going up against the Ruler, a submission specialist out of New York that is nearly as dangerous a striker as he is a grappler. JJ is going to have to be on his A game if he wants to advance to the second round of this tournament. Both competitors circling one another. JJ gaining the upper hand. But Rick coming out with that knee, shooting JJ into that corner turnbuckle, but we're still in a bit of a feeling out process. You've got to wonder, is JJ a little bit starstruck going up against Slick Rick in the first round of this tournament? It looks like he's handling himself just fine, delivering that metal elbow to the top of the head, as well as that clubbing blow to the side of the head, but Slick Rick already starting to work those metal arms. Trying to put excess strain on those actuators and motors. Trying to take the power away from JJ's offense. Slick Rick continuing his strategy of working the arm. So supremely effective in that underground fight club scene that he is so well known for. And why change what works? But JJ slamming like a wrestler with that belly-to-belly overhead suplex. We saw Slick Rick going for that low kick, trying to take JJ's legs out from under his legs, but JJ came prepared, able to sidestep that strike. But Slick Rick, as I said, he is just as accomplished a striker as he is a submission specialist. Working that scarf hold, trying to choke the life out of JJ. JJ immediately breaking the hold. Slick Rick starting to just grind the face of JJ into those ropes. Slick Rick now goes for the cover, but only gets one. Slick Rick has been in control for the last several minutes. JJ's really going to have to put his foot on the gas here if he wants to get back into this contest. And that's exactly the sort of thing JJ needs to do if he wants to win here. Those big belly-to-belly overhead suplex, that headlock takeover. Just trying to shut Slick Rick down at every step, and that's what you have to do. You have to keep on this man because he is so extremely dangerous. And those metal arms ending with metal fists just coming crashing into the face of Slick Rick, but Slick Rick continuing to work those arms, but JJ to his feet first, and repeated strikes just doing a ton of damage to Slick Rick, but Slick Rick able to stay on his feet, and those repeated knee strikes will put JJ onto the mat, and that running kick to the side. But JJ undeterred, brain buster. As I said, metal arms ending in metal fists colliding with the face of Rick the Ruler. And Slick Rick is dazed. But not dazed enough not be able to lift that knee and power out of that hold. So JJ once again delivers a brutal brainbuster, and that time Slick Rick did not have enough time to react. That lariat crushing him as JJ back elbow, and everything I said about Slick Rick just having all the offensive momentum has gone out the window as JJ has really started to turn it on here. Big side kick, 1, 2. That was nearly it right there. Ooh, precision cross right to the face of Rick the Ruler. And big bulldog, but Slick Rick to his feet immediately. And once again, going with that kickboxing combination, so extremely deadly. But it's still not enough to put JJ away. JJ delivering the brain buster. Possibly one more for good measure, and he does, right on the logo. But Slick Rick is to his feet so quickly. Flying armbar. How much more punishment can the arms of JJ take? Apparently, at least a little more, as he was able to break the hold before being submitted. But Slick Rick just once again working those metal arms of JJ. And now both competitors battling it out. JJ fired up, rolling lariat. And Slick Rick not even able to get up and deliver an answer back. However, that kick to the face will be extremely effective as he locks on the scarf hold once again. JJ is in trouble. He's been in that hold for quite a while. Slick Rick, you gotta figure, is trying to put JJ away. He's going to submission after submission. But JJ still got some fight left in him. Shooting Slick Rick into that corner turnbuckle. Putting him up in the tree of woe. He's totally defenseless. And repeated shots to the knees, trying to take the power away from those kicks. Slick Rick responding back. Just trying to choke the life out of JJ in that corner turnbuckle. And once again, just locks on that cross arm breaker. Just how much more punishment can JJ take? Whatever it may be, JJ still got gas left in the tank here. Those repeated punches. He's fired up. He's trying to get the crowd involved. Shoots Slick Rick into the ropes. But Slick Rick, once again, lifting that knee. He's proven to be so difficult to pin down. But tried and true, that brainbuster just slamming Slick Rick onto the mat. But once again, another flying armbar, and that's going to be it. And JJ unable to best Rick the Ruler in singles competition. Those holds were just too much for him. Even the resilience of those metal arms, not enough to protect him from those repeated cross arm breakers. And that is going to set the stage for the second round of the JPW #1 Contenders Tournament. And this is all going to be next week, folks. We have D-Mob versus Will Ospreay in the first match. We have Jordan going up against Josh Pearlman. And in the bottom half of the bracket, we have Mr. Adams going up against COLBY. And finally, we just saw Slick Rick advance. He is going to be going up against Robert Walsh. And you've got to remember what's at stake here, folks. This is for the #1 contender, spot against the Judgment Pro Wrestling heavyweight title. A heavyweight title that has never been defended on Blake's House Television will be defended against the winner of this tournament. So we will have a much clearer picture as to what that #1 contender spot is going to look like at the end of next week's show. But we, of course, have one more match for you guys this evening. And of course, that is going to be the Mag.Lo Open Challenge. We now know who is going to be facing Mag.Lo in tonight's main events. You saw him in the dark match last week. You saw him in the Mag.Lo Battle Royal this week. Just a meteoric rise to fame is Fat Albert. So let us not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get into this match right now. Of course, you can find Mag.Lo's entrance theme and more at maglo.bandcamp.com. And yes, that is right, Fat Albert, a man that rose from relative obscurity immediately to the top of the card in tonight's main event. But he's got one more obstacle before him, and that is the Mag.Lo. Fat Albert shot out of the gate with that football-style tackle. Mag.Lo, big elbow to face. Mag.Lo making it really difficult for Fat Albert to get started here. But as you've seen from time and time again, Fat Albert favors longer matches. He is somebody that, despite his size and athletic ability, he is somebody that can stay in there 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes into a contest and still be extremely dangerous. And that's something Mag.Lo is going to have to be prepared for over the course of this match. That being said, Mag.Lo has fought nearly everyone there is to fight in Blake's House and beyond. So if anyone is prepared for Fat Albert's style of offense, it has got to be Mag.Lo, but Fat Albert now rolling Mag.Lo up and rolling back over. Just folding Mag.Lo like the optional third row seating in the Honda Odyssey. And big headbutt from Fat Albert. Mag.Lo responding back, flashing elbow, burying it in the chest of Fat Albert. Oh my God. What a spectacular display from Fat Albert. We've certainly not seen this before at all. Albert dumped to the outside, and Fat Albert now bringing a foreign object into this contest, quickly disarmed by Mag.Lo, but slammed right onto that baseball bat cover, one, only one, as Mag.Lo quickly kicks out of that pinning predicament. Mag.Lo seems to be scratching his head here about how he wants to approach Fat Albert. Fat Albert's so very resilient. He's a difficult man to pin down. Fat Albert repeated open palm strikes. Possibly setting up for something, unclear what. Fat Albert going up top. Big frog splash to the back. of Mag.Lo from an absolute mountain of a man. Big turn belly to belly. Fat Albert's taking a moment to soak it all in. Mag.Lo, muscle buster, breaking that out real early tonight. He's had enough of Fat Albert, but Fat Albert able to get a foot on the ropes. So Mag.Lo once again attempting possibly for that flashing elbow, unable to connect as Fat Albert to his feet so quickly. Mag.Lo will run the ropes, sliding D right to the jaw of Fat Albert as he locks on that patented spinning toe hold. That maneuver that has never failed to get the crowd excited. And that has got the crowd invested in this contest. But repeated chops to the chest. Fat Albert now running the ropes. But Mag.Lo to his feet so quickly. Big flying hip attack. But Fat Albert fighting his way out of that corner and planting Mag.Lo by that blue Gatorade turnbuckle. Big Samoan drop. This time Fat Albert dropped against that baseball bat that's been dropped into the ring. Clubbing blows to the back, and a Fat Albert once again running the ropes. And Mag.Lo hitting Fat Albert with his own hold and getting a 2 count out of it. Big clubbing blows, and Fat Albert now trying to get the crowd invested in this match. It's going to be really hard to turn them against the People's Champion. Mag.Lo backdropped onto that baseball bat once again. That bat has come into play so much over the course of this contest. Big elbow to face from Mag.Lo. Mag.Lo once again running the ropes, flashing elbow right to the heart of Fat Albert. Big lariat, and Mag.Lo once again that patented spinning toe hold. That signature spinning toe hold from Mag.Lo, but Fat Albert able to break the hold. And we are at something of a standstill. Both of these competitors trying to figure out just how to gain the upper hand over their opponents. Fat Albert nearly getting a 3 count off that reverse suplex. And now it's Mag.Lo on the outside in a rare twist of fate as Fat Albert stands alone in the center of the Blake's House ring. Big slam for Mag.Lo. Mag.Lo trying to pull Fat Albert away from the ropes as he will once again lock on that patented spinning toe hold. Fat Albert going up top. Fat Albert appears to be in control at this point in the match. Once again running the ropes, and once again just dropping all that weight on the back of the neck of Mag.Lo. And once again that springboard moonsault, and nearly enough to put Mag.Lo away. But Fat Albert now just struggling to keep his wind in this match. But Mag.Lo delivering that drop kick. He hasn't thrown a kick in over 13 minutes. And that might be what Mag.Lo needed to get back into this match. Big flashing elbow after the sliding D. Fat Albert now just trying to figure out exactly how he wants to take Mag.Lo out of this contest, but Mag.Lo making it so very difficult. Big flying press from Fat Albert, but Mag.Lo responding back with a monstrous tackle. And big sliding D right to the side of the face of Fat Albert. Mag.Lo has not yet hit the Mag.Lo driver in this contest. You've got to figure that's what he's looking for to be able to put this man away, but Fat Albert making that so very difficult. Big football-style tackle from Fat Albert. That man has to be over 400 pounds just throwing his weight around the ring. Fat Albert. Big body splash. That could be it. And Fat Albert, 3-count fall, defeating Mag.Lo in tonight's main event. And Fat Albert rising from relative obscurity to the top of the card, defeating Mag.Lo. But that is going to conclude the main show tonight. Be sure to stick around for the post-show dark match. And I can maybe book that, because people clearly want to see more Fat Albert stuff. And, like, Fat Albert's a weird character, just because of the way he statted. I mean, honestly, Chris probably has, if I had to guess, because I should be keeping a spreadsheet of who's, of who's winning what. If I had to guess, he's probably got about a 50% win rate, because, I mean, who he goes up against is totally random. So, like, sometimes he just, like, gets mismatches. Also, sometimes the game is just weird. But, was asked to check out the stats of the KOF TV champions. So let's go ahead and do that really quick before we go into our dark match, and we can kind of hang out in the chat here while that's going on. Oh, I passed KOF already. Oh, that's why. I'm almost certain I have a heavy D. I could have sworn I did, but let's see. Alright, that all seems pretty reasonable. Like, nothing totally outrageous there. Let's check his stats. Kind of high-centered, but, like, nothing egregious. Let's see here. Let's see. Do I have a heavy D? Because for some reason, I thought I did. But I might not have a heavy D, is how we got the 2 Brian Battlers team. Sure wish I could read. I do like what they did with Chang. That's nice. Alright, as it turns out, I do not have a heavy D, so sometimes it's like that. Also seems pretty standard. Let's see. Okay, kind of same deal as the other Brian. A little bit higher centered than I'd probably like, but nothing unreasonable. And honestly, this guy's offensive stats kind of make sense. All right, he's really good at power moves and just pretty good at other things. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Which is how you can get away with having stats like this high. Lucky is probably the same, because I think it's from the same creator as the other one. Oop, I have passed KOF again, so I can't read. And yeah, pretty much same situation here. I think the one thing that I will say as a defense of this, like, style of creation, at least they're not going, like, high spirit, high breathing. Oh, okay, Lucky does have high breathing. Because that is just like, yeah, you know what you're doing, and I know what you're doing, and I don't like it. Let's see. Okay, so built. Okay, this one I do like a little bit less, because this is kind of the 2B problem that that we kind of talked about before, where you've got ones in stats for moves that you don't do at all. I don't really care for people building characters like this. The defensive stats are pretty reasonable. But, like, to me, this looks like I'm trying to hit a point total more than I'm trying to build a character that stats make sense. Yeah. And which, don't get me wrong, like, there are people that, because I don't want to say, like, hey, this stat block, like, people fight like this, because, like, all right, even Osprey has numbers that aren't 1 in other things, because he doesn't just do flippy shit. And also, like, Osprey's 10 agility makes sense because his agility is the CEO of the Global United Agility Corporation. But I don't know, I feel like we'll put the American sports team just kind of on observation, because I'm not totally convinced that they're overpowered. They are good and probably statted better than they should be for their, like, weight class. But at the same time, like, Steve Jobber was getting significant offense on them, because this game is like that sometimes, where shit just happens. So we'll let that rock for another couple weeks. Yeah. Well, he made one of them bleed. I don't think all 3 of them were bleeding by the end of that match. Alright, so out of our options for the Dark, I'm going to strike out Boran and Joey. I'm going to strike out Ian because he literally fought tonight. The only reason I'm taking Boran out is, like, he was a major feature in an arc. I'm cool, Armor King. But that still leaves Scott Steiner, Christian Joy, or alleged murderer Jimmy Snuka as our options on the orange Gatorade corner. All right. Blake wants to see the Superfly in action. And let's go ahead and flex some of the new rings. I don't think I... Oh, I think I remember this. So not an NWO ring. So there are new arenas with the latest DLC update. The gym, backyard, and the Tokyo Dome Wrestle Kingdom 2019 stage. Like, this is legit the 2019 Wrestle Kingdom arena. So, you know what? I'm going to let this to you guys. Are we going a, like, high school gym? Are we fighting in somebody's backyard? Or are we fighting in the 2019 Tokyo Dome? I feel like I know what the answer is, but you know what? Sometimes the chat surprises me. Yes. So, like, generally speaking, I always play Madison Square Garden, but there's, like, Arena Mexico. I don't remember what that's supposed to be. This is, like, generic arena. This is Kurikan Hall. Dojo is just like a regular, like, gym. But Blake wants to see some backyard wrestling, so we're going to be wrestling in somebody's backyard. So let's go ahead and get into this match right now. Okay. Huh. Okay, no, I think this is still... Okay, this is like a baseball stadium. Because I know it's an outdoor show. Okay, this is an outdoor baseball stadium. Because I could have sworn there was like a regular, hey, you are outside, that is not this. I mean, there's no rule. It says it can't.
Hoi.
Yo, these mats are like, these like arenas that just have the gym mats like against the apron are so gross. Because, like, you can see concrete around the ring. Just exposed concrete that someone could get slammed on. And you know what? After this match, I'll do one more bonus dark match. Just so we can show off the Tokyo Dome. Because this is all from the entrance DLC, to be clear. I haven't actually played with the Create an Entrance feature, which I will definitely be doing in the near future. But as a bonus, when you buy that DLC, you get 3 new arenas to play in, which is what this came from. Yeah, so you can control pyro, you can control, like, more control over when you do your entrance theatrics. You can also delay the walkout, so it's more in time with music. Which is something I want to do with Chris Martin's entrance, because, like, Team has such an extended intro. I want him to just, like, kind of hang out in Gorilla while, like, smoke is happening. And then, like, he can start walking out when, when he's, like, screaming the chorus. Because I think that would be a lot more interesting an entrance for him. I'm not sure how the entrance DLC works with, what is it? Works with workshop creations. Because I think that's all saved locally, but I could be totally wrong about that. Because I haven't actually tried to create an entrance yet, so... maybe that's something I'll play with this week. Might even stream it, maybe. Who knows? Certainly not me. A cool thing about the Create an Entrance DLC is, you know those nameplates when you're walking out to the ring? How all the official DLC characters, it has their stable logo? So the Bullet Club guys have a Bullet Club logo. The, like, Suzuki Goon guys have a Suzuki Goon logo. Things like that. So now, when you create somebody's entrance, you can edit their nameplate and give your stable logos for them to, like, when they walk out, that will display. Which means I need to get off my ass and give Nick's Wrestling Organization a logo, so that way I can assign that to your stable. Yeah, it's very cool what you can do in this game. Yo, Rash, appreciate you stopping by. Doing pretty good, though. Basically just wrapping up my stream. So, unfortunately, you came at kind of a, like, not great time, because I'm going to be going off air in, like, 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, so, let's see. When I do the Blake's House guys, like, they can all just walk out with this as their stable logo. And that'll just be in the graphic where your stable is, like, displayed. That'll live up here for a little bit. And, like, so to answer your question, Nick, it is very good. Like, I am really happy we have it. And honestly, like, if you want to use that on your streams, like when we're doing Saturday streams, like, I am totally cool with, like, giving you the assets. And, so, Nick, even the brother rate for, see, like, that is what I'm worried about, because, like, I upload all my stuff to YouTube, and I don't want to get my videos muted or other bullshit to happen. So, like, I want to avoid using copyrighted music whenever possible. And, so Mao, so I guess catch you up on what's going on here is, so Fire Pro Wrestling is a wrestling series. It's been around for, I think, 20 or 30 years. And kind of the gimmick is there is so much room to create characters. Like, you can see, that's a pretty well-made Armor King. Like, that's definitely Armor King. Next to Armor King is Alleged Murderer, Jimmy Snuka. That's definitely Jimmy Snuka. This ring mat is custom. Like, you can make wrestlers look like wrestlers, and you've got a lot of control over their AI, more than basically any wrestling game that I've ever seen or heard about. So you can make people really fight like they fight in real life. So what a lot of people do is they'll create characters or download characters other people have created from the internet, and just have dream matchups. Like, say I want 80s Hogan versus 90s Steve Austin. Like, that's a matchup that anybody would ever, like, that's, at least anybody in my generation would have wanted to see in a wrestling ring that we never got to see. Well, somebody's made a Hulk Hogan that fights just like Hulk Hogan. Somebody's made a Steve Austin that fights just like Steve Austin. Now we can put him in the ring and see what happens. Alternatively, as you can see, I've got Armor King here. Characters from any type of fiction that you've ever seen or heard about. They exist. I have the entire cast of Def Jam Fight for New York on my save, and pretty frequently run events with Def Jam characters. Let's see here. Let me see what you're saying. Intercepted strictly to the DLC. I remember it being on the Steam page before. Like, shit, people are talking in the chat. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So, I've got it. Like, so craft mode is a new feature, and I can just create an entrance. It's somewhere. I gave somebody $20 for this DLC. But while we're here, because this will probably be a fast match, let me get the Rapture back in here, because I do want to show off the Tokyo Dome. Well, I'm have the Rapture fight drill. I'm have him fight in the Tokyo Dome. So we got one bonus dark match because I want to show off the Tokyo Dome. Because I'm pretty sure this is the Tokyo Dome. Disregard the fact that it says USA Grand Dome. But that being said, I also thought the last match was... Okay, no, this isn't... Okay, so I'm trying to think what arena this is. I think this is the AEW style arena. Yeah, that's the AEW, like, the AEW stage, but with a lot more, like, lights and bullshit. All right.
Hoi!
Also, Blake, like, so do you really not know who Drill is?
Oh, yeah!
Because, I mean, honestly, it's probably a good thing. Because if you know who Drill is, you are entirely too much on the internet. Like, trying to explain who Drill is like trying to explain to, like, wrestling journalists who Sans Undertale is. Like, I can't really do it, but I can assure you that he's a very culturally significant figure. And he has a really bad show on Adult Swim now. So enjoy that, I guess. It would be extremely fucked up if Drill ended up beating the Rapture. Oh, this is cool. I haven't seen this movie yet. So one of my favorite things that can happen in this game is somebody gets criticaled on the outside, and they're just, like, lying down dead for the 20 count. Man, Drill hanging in there, though. Well, he got that one critical he needed. But yeah, so I guess the things I need to do before I go off air. Blake, I will go ahead and get you that file so you can use that on your stream. Yeah, I just wanted to show off the new arenas more than anything else. And we can check out the high school gym later, because clearly I misunderstood which things were which things. Because that's definitely the AEW stage. The like baseball stadium outdoor wasn't what I thought it was, but I'm pretty sure the last one actually is a high school gym, but who knows? So I got the last two wrong. But I'll get you that file. Nick, I will finally get off my ass and make a proper Nick's Wrestling Organization logo, so that way, when I do finally get around to playing with the Create an Entrance feature, you can have a stable logo for your guys. And who knows? Maybe sometime over the course of this week, I will stream myself playing with the Create an Entrance feature, because it looks really cool. I just haven't put any time into it to know how it actually works. So it's going to be a lot of me figuring out shit, because Spike, as much as I love them for making this game, they do not give a fuck about the American audience. The fact that we buy this game at all is like entirely coincidental to them. So I have not seen like any kind of tutorialization in English on how the new features work, but we'll learn about that later. I'm gonna get ready to sign off, so I'm gonna give my usual closing comments. So if you are interested in what you saw here tonight, you want to see some more of this, please tune in to twitch.tv/MondayCindy every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You will be seeing a weekly episodic wrestling show similar to the one you saw tonight. Over the course of the week, I occasionally stream other games. Don't count on it. And let me figure out who I'm going to throw you guys to, because that's a good thing to do when you are on Twitch. Let's see, who's doing stuff right now? Yeah, I should probably do that thing that you've just described to me. Alright, well, I'm going to throw you guys at Melly, who is currently playing some Doom mods. Yeah, I gotta spruce up my profile, and I might talk to you about that, about like what I can do to make that not nothing. But I'm gonna throw you guys at Melly, who's playing some Doom mods. One day she's gonna do Melv Bash 2000, and it's gonna be very exciting because I'm still looking forward to that event. But regardless, I'm gonna hit that button. Once I send you guys over there, I'm gonna log off. So I will catch you guys down the road.